Hey everyone, today I have another very cool and very simple wall hanging tutorial for you. So let's get into it, shall we? For the supplies, I have a dowel rod. This one is 50 centimeters, so that's your basis. And then for the cords, I have these three gorgeous colors. I mean, look at the shades. I think they go so well together. They are all these 3-ply twisted ropes in 5mm in terms of the size. And I'll be showing you how many cords at what lengths do you need once we get to each section of the wall hanging. So let's start. So for the base, we're gonna be using this beige or sand color cord. On the screen, you can already see how many cords at what lengths you will need, so get those ready. Now let's put the cords up. So find the middle of your first cord, and we're gonna do a variation of the lark's head knot. So go over the rod as if you want it to do a regular lark's head knot, but here, take the middle on the side, wrap it around the 2 cords in the middle, and place it over the rod one more time so that we get this little cross at the top here. Now put it into place and then tighten it. And this is how you're gonna put up all of the cords. Okay, so we've got all of the cords up. Make sure they're nice and tight together, that there are no big spaces in between them. And then cut another one of these sand colored cords. I'm giving you again the length on the screen. And I suggest that one of the ends, you put a tape on it like this so that it doesn't unravel. And what we will be doing now is a whole bunch of vertical double half hitch knots, or sometimes I think I see them as the clove hitch. So we're gonna be doing those row after row. So let me show you how we're gonna do those. Take the 2 sides of the cord you just prepared. The one that doesn't have any tape on it is gonna stay here on the left, and maybe you can leave out like 20 centimeters or something like that. You can let go of this one. So take this, put it behind the first 2 cords. So we're always gonna have the 2 cords as the fillet cords. And then we do the first loop and the first hitch around it. So you have to pull through the entire cord. So this is our first loop here. Put it at the top nice and tight. And then for the second one, we're gonna go over the 2 fillet cords in the middle, behind them, and through this loop and out. And then you will tighten the 2 cords together. Keep tightening, make sure they're at the very top like this, nice and tight. And then don't worry about this end, we will cover that later. And we will just keep going with the same kind of principle on the other cords as well. So take the next 2 cords, put this one around them, and then from the back and out through this loop. Nice and tight at the top. And then do one more. So the exact same thing, over the 2 and through the loop and out. And tighten at the top. Okay, and just keep going like this for the entire row. So here is a tip. You might see the difference between this knot and then like here, this knot or this knot. This one, the rope is still very nicely twisted and nice and tight. Here, I could see that it started untwisting because of how I was pulling it through, you know, the giant so long rope through the loop. So what I did is this long rope that I'm working with, I've put it into a bundle like this with just my hairband, and I am using that now, doing the exact same thing. So working with this as if it was just the regular rope. So making a loop right here, going over the 2 cords in the middle, and then tightening it. The first one, and then the second one. And you can see that, again, compared to these 3, for example, these 2 knots where I've used this, they again look really nice and tight and twisted. And then whenever I need more rope, I just pull on this to get it out of the bundle, and I have more rope to work with. So we got to the end here, and now we need to do the same thing, but going the opposite direction. So we will put another row down here going the other way. So take your bundle, and then this cord will go behind, first behind the 2 in the middle, then over them, and then again behind and through this loop and out. Hold the 2 cords nice and down like this. Again, tighten as much as you can. And then similar thing. First, we want to go over the 2 in the middle. Then the bundle is going to go behind them and out through this loop. And we will tighten. And you will continue like this. So first, behind them, over them, behind them again, and through the loop and out. Once again, over the 2 in the middle, behind them, and out through the loop. And keep going for the rest of the row. One more tip, I am getting the nicest knots when I am tightening the knots in the way that the working cord I push to the back of my work, and the filler cords, I kind of pull them towards me. So try to do that. So once again, the working cord, which I have in this bundle, goes to the back, and the filler cords I'm pulling towards myself. And you can see it looks nice and even, whereas here, down here, I was doing it a little bit differently. I didn't pull the cord to the back, and you can see that it's a little bit visible, the transitions there, so try to pull it to the back. Okay, so at this point, I finished the first 2 rows of the knots, and I was able to calculate that for each row, I need about 2 meters of cord. So if you want to do different colors, different shapes here, whatever, different patterns, just calculate, as long as you're using 24 cords at the top, that you will need about 2 meters per row of cord, plus something for the ends here. So I have about 10 centimeters on each one, so that would be 2.2 meters if you want to do just one row. If you want to do 2 rows, then that would be 4.2 meters, and so on, 6.2, etc. The other thing I found out is that this is quite a workout. So my arms really hurt from all of the, like, how you have to really tighten the knots to make it look good. So I know for sure I'm not gonna finish today. So what I want to do in this video right now is probably put in like a picture, a diagram of the finished piece that will show you how many rows of each color did I do, so that if you want to recreate the exact same thing, you can just follow that diagram. And basically, whenever you're starting a new color here, you will start it in the exact same way how we started this first one. So if you're not sure, just go back to the beginning of the video, watch how we started this one, and you will do the same thing with the next color. So I'll be adding the orange one now and then mixing in the green and seeing, I'm not sure yet how exactly I want to space them and place them. So I'll have to play around with it, but I'm putting in the picture of the finished rose in here now. Before we get to that picture, I have one last tip for you. As you are tightening the knots, try to pull these two fillet cords away from each other. Every now and then, just pull them apart so that the knot gets tightened, and also so that the cords don't twist around and you can keep them facing towards you all the time. So even on the previous knots that you've tightened, just a little bit of pulling every now and then to make it nice and the same. So here is the pattern. Now, if the letters are too small, just head over to the description of the video. I've put all of the measurements in there as well. And one thing you might notice, there are 3 big sections, 2 of the green color and 1 of the orange color that have more than 10 meters of cord. For those sections, what I did is I actually split them into 2. So for example, the 6 rows of green, which are about 12 meters of cord, it's actually 2 cords at 6.2 meters each that I've used for that one. So the other thing you've probably noticed in the pattern is that all of these edges were cleaned up. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. I think there are 2 ways really. First, let me turn this to the back so that you can see. So one of the things that you can do is take a needle, thread this single piece through it, and then with that needle, work it into the back of this pattern underneath all of these knots that are here. Let me show you up close. So you would thread this piece right here underneath these crosses. But you know me, I like to make things easy for myself. So instead, I am going to use my hot glue gun and simply glue the pieces to the back of the pattern. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. So we will be trimming this or gluing down this piece first. The first thing you want to do is trim it so that it's about, I'm gonna say, what is this, 2-3 centimeters short. And then get your hot glue gun ready. And you will want to put the glue underneath, so into this little space right here. So put a little bit of that glue in there. And then you take the cord that we have just trimmed and pull on it. You see how I am pulling so that it doesn't show up on the side here, and pull it down into the glue that we have put there. So the important thing is that you pull it away from the side so that there is no like visible seam or whatever when you look at it from the front. So the piece is nice and clean with all of the edges. And now the last part in this project is, as always, the fringe. Now I think we have 3 options. Either we just trim it and leave it as is, so just trim it to the desired length of the fringe and just leave it and that's it. Number 2, or option number 2, we trim it and then we just unravel, because you know it's 3-ply like this. So what you can do is you can just unravel these 3 strands and have it unraveled like that. And then the last option is you unravel it and then you brush it out. So the completely brushed out fringe. I think I want to go for that middle option. So just the unraveling of the 3 strands of the cord. And the reasoning is I do want to do something a little bit more than just leave it hanging like this. But I also want the fringe to be quite long, and I think brushing it out would have been a little bit of a nightmare, so I'm gonna go for that middle option. So let me show you how exactly I'm going to do that. So first, trim the whole fringe to more or less where you want it to be. A little bit less trimming, you can always trim more later. And then take that very first cord, and what you will do is just carefully unravel this first one. So just keep untwisting it like this all the way to the top. Once you reach the top, you can then unravel the other two. So just kind of holding down on one of them and then untwisting the other two. And the fringe is done. So we have finished the whole piece. The only very last touch is I will trim the very end of the fringe with some really sharp scissors to get that clean, sort of clean cut edge. And then that's it. The project took me a lot longer than I originally expected. I was working on it for 3 days, a couple hours each day. So quite a piece, but I think, again, very much worth it. I already have a place in mind where I want to hang it. So I think it's gonna fit really well in there. So I hope the tutorial was helpful. I was sharing a lot of tips, so if you haven't heard some of them, then just go back, rewatch the entire video, because I do think they're gonna make your work a little bit easier. And that's it, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you are going to try this piece, and if you already did, then how did it go? I'm very curious as always. And that's it for today. See you next week.